What's up, everybody? Rivera here, the absolute best LGBTQ comedian in the world. There's a Christmas tree behind me because my boyfriend insisted. My silly, silly boyfriend insisted that we do a Christmas tree. So I had to help. And I admit I'm the ones that put the ones on the bottom down there, which I think he probably wants to rearrange. But it's kind of like if you ask someone to help you and then you move around everything they helped with, then did they really help you? So I think he's trying not to offend me. He's very, very sweet to me and probably nicer than he should be. Anyway, I'm here in my apartment. I decided to take the night off of doing anything, even though all day I've been busy working on stuff. I updated my website. I hit up a bunch of people. I'm getting booked on a bunch of stuff, which is really fun and exciting, not only here in Vegas, but also across the country. And I think I'm supposed to set something up in China again soon. So there's going to be a lot of fun stuff coming up. If you guys want to check it out, you can go to tyrivera.com. I will put the link just below in the description. I know people will always be going crazy about stuff that I don't really care about. There was the death of President George H.W. Bush, which I'm not trying to disrespect that, but it was like a lot of people didn't like him when he was alive. And I remember when he was president and people used to say terrible things about him. But then all of a sudden he died, and now everybody's trying to act like he was their hero, which I get. Not completely shitting on somebody just because, or once they've died. Like that, I 100% get. But the way that people overcorrect is what kind of gets on my nerves about that situation. It's like, he doesn't have to be your hero just because he died. You can still be like, okay, I wasn't really a fan of him when he was president, but this is it. So it's whatever. And then last week, I didn't get to talk about it. It was, well, not last week. It was over the weekend. Grindr, the president of Grindr, said something about, that he wasn't a fan of gay marriage, or I don't even remember how he phrased it, because the way that they put it was like he said F gay marriage, and I don't think that's the way he put it. And even if that's the way he put it, if you guys aren't familiar, Grindr is a hookup app. So when you're talking about a hookup app and it's saying that, the president of that hookup app is saying don't or I don't believe in marriage or whatever, then I don't really see how that would upset you. If it's like, do you not understand that this is probably his way of saying, like, don't get married because we want you to continue to hook up on our app? Like, that would be the same to me as if a casino came out, or the president of a casino came out and said, don't put your money in banks. Banks are bullshit. They would be like, well, of course you want me to say that because you want me to go continue to gamble at the casino. So it makes sense that you would be like, don't put your money in banks. You can't trust them. But people instead got upset. And, my thing with gay marriage was always just like, I could understand why people wanted to be in committed relationships. I could understand why people wanted the contract of marriage, because when you get married, then you do have certain rights, like as far as land, as far as being able to visit your significant other if something happens and they should end up in the hospital, intensive care, that kind of thing. Like, I fully do get why you would want to be legally married to somebody. But back when all of that was going on, if you remember, the religious right kept saying that marriage was between a man and a woman. And that's what they were saying in the quotes that the guy from Grindr was saying. I read one that said, in quotes, that he said F gay marriage, but then when I read the full story, it never said that. Instead, just said that he had said that he thought marriage was between a man and a woman, which I get when people say that, and it's not like I'm saying that marriage between a man and a man or a woman and a woman can't be valid. That's not what I'm saying at all. But traditionally, that's what marriage has been. So if we're changing marriage, then I get that. Or if they decided to change marriage, I get that. But at the same time, there's nothing wrong or hateful about saying, like, this is what it's been up until now. It's like, when things went out of being segregated. And some people might say, like, this has been a traditionally white venue or a traditionally white bathroom or whatever it was, which I know this example is kind of out there, but it's still valid to say, like, to have said that that's what it is, but now it's something different. There's nothing wrong with actually acknowledging the history of something, saying like, yeah, for a long time, marriage was just between a man and a woman, and then we expanded the definition. But back when that was happening, other LGBT people would get so mad at me because I just kept telling them, look, if the religious right is so hell-bent on keeping the term marriage, like if they're saying that's for straight people, that's for a man and a woman, then why don't you just say, fine, you can have the term marriage, call it whatever you want to call it, give me the same rights you would give to any married person, and I don't care what we call it, or we can come up with a name for it. And I said this not only because it would be an easy way of just letting go of the string and saying, you want to play tug of war? I'm letting go. You fall on your ass. You look stupid. It also, I felt that way because traditionally, as far as LGBT, like me coming up, I remember that things had to be like their own definition. In a lot of cases, LGBT people had to take care of each other when they would split up because nobody was there to force them to. The law wasn't there to force them to. People didn't have the same rights. And so a lot of LGBT people I knew still took care of their other person or their ex like they would if they had been married. And like I said, I get why the law needs to come into it because there were also situations where people would have been in relationships for years and years. Like, I saw one example where this couple had been together for 20 years. They had a farm together. It was an actual working farm. They would work the farm together and everything was, the two of them. So one of them ends up dying. It turned out the one that died was the one that the deed was actually in his name. And this is in some backwoods, area. But then the family comes in and they're like, oh, well, we're the ones that have rights to this. And it was actually like second cousins or something like that. But since they were the next of kin, they were able to take the farm away from this person that had lived there and worked that farm for years and years with the person that he'd been married to. And him and the person that he had been married to, they weren't even like in an argument or anything like that when the person passed away. Technically, the one had taken care of them and now they're getting put out of their house because of the way the law works. So I can definitely see why it was important to people that there be that legal protection in place, but I didn't think that it had to be called marriage. And I know some people are going to say I'm hateful for that, but I'm really not hateful for it. Now that we have gay marriage, is there a chance I'm going to get married to my silly boyfriend? Well, if he's dumb enough to accept when I'm finally smart enough to answer, then I most likely will end up getting married. But I wouldn't have cared if you called it something different because I feel like I've earned the right to be something different. Like, I like that I'm something different. I've embraced my own uniqueness, and I love me, and I love my life, and I love that not everything has to be 100% by the rules of the straight world. And maybe some people get that, maybe some people don't. Anyway, I hope you guys are all enjoying your version of the holidays, whatever holidays it is you celebrate. I'm not a person that thinks everybody has to celebrate Christmas. I will tell you guys that I hope you guys are having a good holiday season. I wanted to do one that was warm and cozy and in front of the tree because I'm going to be traveling the next couple of days and I'm probably going to vlog about that, so stay tuned for that. It's going to be me on the road. I got some long stuff coming up, so you guys will see how it all works out. Please like, comment, and subscribe. This has been Ty Rivera, the absolute best LGBTQ comedian in the world.